The Lobo forest, dark, silent, trees tall and still, crowded together. Twisted branches clawed at the sky. No sunlight pierced the thick canopy above. The air hung heavy, thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. The forest had a reputation, a place of whispers and shadows. Locals told stories of people who wandered in, never to be seen again. A shiver ran down my spine. I pushed deeper into the woods. My heart hammered in my chest. Fear, sharp and cold, gripped me. I had to go on. I had made a promise. My father, a seasoned explorer, had vanished in these woods. He had been searching for a rare flower, the moonbloom. A flower said to bloom only under the light of a full moon, possessing mythical healing powers. He had promised to be back by nightfall, but night had fallen and he hadn't returned. His last words echoed in my ears. If I'm not back by dawn, don't come looking. But I couldn't stay away. He was my father. I had to find him, or at least find out what happened. The forest seemed to press in on me, suffocating me with its silence. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sent a jolt of fear through me. The old woman in the village had told me the legend of the skinless man, a creature that roamed the Lobo forest, its flesh stripped bare, its eyes burning with a cold, white fire. They said he was once a man who had dared to enter the forest with greed in his heart, seeking to exploit its secrets for his gain. The forest had punished him, taking his skin, his sanity, his very humanity. He now roamed the woods, they said, a warning to any who dared to disrespect the forest's power. I had dismissed it as an old wives' tale, but now, surrounded by the oppressive darkness of the Lobo forest, doubt gnawed at me. The deeper I went, the stranger things became. The trees seemed to twist and contort, their branches reaching out like grasping claws. The shadows seemed to move on their own, swirling and dancing in the periphery of my vision. I started hearing things, whispers just beyond the range of my hearing, footfalls pacing me just out of sight. My mind was playing tricks on me, I told myself. It was the fear, the isolation. But deep down, a primal fear bloomed in my chest, a feeling that I was not alone, that something was watching me, hunting me. The forest was changing me, twisting my senses, playing with my mind. Section 5. Eyes in the darkness. Night fell. The darkness in the forest was absolute, a suffocating blanket swallowing sound and reason. I stumbled on, my hand trailing along the rough bark of the trees, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. Then I saw them, 2 points of light burning in the darkness, eyes, watching me. They were high off the ground, almost glowing in the pitch black. I froze, my breath catching in my throat. The eyes blinked, the light flickering for a moment before returning, unwavering and cold. I wanted to run, to scream, but fear held me rooted to the spot. Section 6. The Howl. A low growl rumbled through the forest. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The sound sent shivers down my spine. It was a primal sound, full of hunger and rage. Then it hit me. A wave of sound so loud, so full of raw power, that it felt like it was tearing through me. A howl echoing through the trees, shaking the very ground beneath my feet. Terror, pure and primal, surged through me. I knew then, with chilling certainty, that the legend was true. The skinless man was real, and he was coming for me. I ran. Blinded by fear, I crashed through the undergrowth, branches whipping at my face, my lungs burning. But the howls continued, getting closer, urging me on. Then I tripped. I fell, sprawling on the forest floor. Gasping for breath, I looked up, and there he was, standing in the moonlight, a grotesque silhouette against the darkness. The skinless man. His flesh was flayed, muscles and tendons exposed, glistening in the moonlight. His eyes blazed with a cold, white fire. He was a nightmare brought to life. He lunged. I scrambled back, scrambling to my feet, my heart pounding in my chest. I ran again, twisting and turning through the trees, desperate to escape the horror that pursued me. I could hear him behind me, his ragged breathing, his bare feet slapping against the forest floor. But slowly the sounds began to fade. The howls became distant echoes. I emerged from the tree line, gasping for breath, my clothes torn, my body battered and bruised. The first rays of dawn were breaking over the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor. I never found my father, but I found something else in the Lobo forest. I found the truth in the legend. The skinless man was real. But he wasn't a mindless monster. He was a guardian, a protector of the forest, punishing those who dared to exploit its power for their gain. My father, I realized with a sickening certainty, had not respected the forest. He had paid the price. The forest had spared me, a warning, a reminder of its power. I left the Lobo forest that day, forever changed, haunted by the howls, haunted by the truth. The skinless man was real, and the forest would always remember.